If this is your first episode of World's Toughest Podcast, push pause right now and find another one. These are deleted scenes from episode 85 of the podcast. This is the first time we've tried this. Episode 85 is a great episode, but it got really, really long. This is about 15 or 20 minutes of thoughts and topics that I wanted to talk about, and I talked about them, but I was like, this episode's too long. I need to make some cuts somewhere. So I put them into this deleted scene. It's not an episode. It's not a full episode. It's just kind of an experiment. Let me know what you think. Leave us a review on iTunes or shoot me an email at willhicks@gmail.com. My name is Will Hicks, and this is the World's Toughest Podcast. Instagram stories are probably the best thing to happen to race coverage since ORM and Mud Run Guide started publishing race recaps. You know what? Since you brought it up, can we talk about race recaps for a minute? Reading race recaps, I enjoy them. I want to learn about the race, right? But reading race recaps is kind of like watching those pimple popper videos on YouTube. Like, I want to look away, but I can't look away. Sometimes they make me physically angry. The race recaps, not the pimple popper videos. Those make me squirm. Like, I want to read about the race, but all this other stuff is in the way. Please don't tell me what time you woke up or how bad the traffic was. I don't need to see a picture of you biting your metal. It's not gold. So don't stop that. Here is what a good recap of the race includes. A good recap of the race. Write about the race. Write about the terrain. Write about the elites. Don't write about yourself. I've said this before. Nobody listens to this podcast because they want to hear about me, except for my mother. No one is reading your race recap to hear about you. Write about the race. Something happened last week with TMX, and it happened last year also, and I blame Ninja Warrior. Last year, the day of TMX, there was a media blackout. Don't share the winners online. This is going to be on TV in a couple months. Don't share the winners online. The winners were online within like 6 hours, maybe less. This year, same thing. Don't post the winners online. This is going to be on TV in a couple months. Don't post the winners online. Same thing happened this year. Except this year, Tough Mudder is the one who dropped the news or broke the news on their Instagram. They posted a video of the winners on the podium with their champagne showers. Ninja Warrior does this every year. They film their events months before they air on TV, and almost every time, nothing leaks out. They are real strict on that stuff. Ask Matt B. Davis about that. That's his story to tell, not mine. But here's the difference between TMX and Ninja Warrior. They're both athletic events, and they're both made for television. But TMX has the potential to be an actual sport. Ninja Warrior is just a reality show. Anyone can show up at a TMX qualifier or TMX Open event and throw down and qualify to run in the TMX championships. That is not the case for Ninja Warrior. If you don't have a compelling backstory, some people call it a sob story, you cannot be on Ninja Warrior. You cannot qualify to even run the course. Ninja Warrior is not a sport and never will be until there is a non-sob story application process. And don't tell me, oh, there's a walk-on line. That walk-on line is a scam. Ask anybody who's ever been in it. You have to show up like a week ahead of time, and they'll take video. I've seen it. They show video of the people like the line like a mile long, right? They take like the first 3 or 4 people in that line, and they know they're going to do that. But they want the video, they want the footage of 600 people lined up, camping out for weeks, even though they know they're going to take the first 3, 4, 5 people from that line. Ninja Warrior is a reality show. It is not a sport. They're athletic, nothing but love and respect. Jesse Graff is amazing. All those athletes are amazing. Drew Dreschel, incredible. But it's a reality show. Don't mix it up with a sport. Speaking of sports on TV, the World Cup kicks off this week. But like Matt B. Davis at a Bro CR birthday party, the U.S. is not invited. Also Canada. Sorry, Canada. But if you enjoy the beautiful game and want a reason to root for someone this year, I have 6 OCR-friendly options for you to choose from. Root for one of them or root for all 6. Germany. Germany is the site of the penultimate Toughest Mudder of 2018, Toughest Mudder Berlin. It is also the home of one of the most well-traveled members of the WTM community, Anke Frederick. You can hear from Anke in Season 1, Episode 38, number 38 overall. Also, year after year, Germany sends over one of the strongest teams at World's Toughest Mudder, Team Getting Tough. They won the 2-man plus classic team category in 2017, World's Toughest Mudder. For the World Cup, Germany is the World Cup defending champion and is expected to perform strongly this year. In Germany, anything less than another World Cup title will be a disappointment. Mexico. Everyone talks about the Canadian athletes in OCR, but Chikorita Rodania is here to remind you about America's other neighbor. Chikorita is a native of Mexico and performed strongly in the Toughest Mudder series in 2017 with 2 third-place finishes and 1 fifth place. You can hear from Chikorita in Season 1, Episode 36, number 36 overall. For the World Cup, Team Mexico has reached the quarterfinals in each of the past 6 World Cups. They upset Germany in the first game of the Cup, which bodes well for their chances. England. John Albon, the only man to ever keep pace with Ryan Atkins at World's Toughest Mudder, is from England. John and Ryan won 2 World's Toughest titles together in 2015 and 2016. You can hear from John in Season 1, Episode 45 of the show, number 45 overall. We have lots of strong support from England for the podcast, though. Ian Kay from Season 2, Episode 19. Will Chung and Daniel Stevens from Season 1, Episode 18 from the UK. I took my family to London last year over the summer. We love England. Another thing we love is England's chances in this year's World Cup. With a favorable draw for the group stage and a strong team of young players, expect England to do some damage this year at the World Cup. Iceland. Maybe you are one of our listeners that isn't really into Tough Mudder, but you love OCR and you like the athletes that run the Spartan races, so you listen anyway. If that's you, you can root for Iceland. Iceland is the home of Spartan's 24-hour Ultra Beast World Championship, held each year in December. The current women's world champion is WTM community member and Guinness World Record holder Morgan Mackay. You can hear Morgan and I talk in Season 1, Episode 36, number 36 overall. You can also hear more about Iceland in my conversation with Joe DeSena, the CEO of Spartan Race, in Episode 82, about 2 or 3 episodes ago. This is Iceland's first year ever at the World Cup, so expectations are low, much like some of your interest levels right now. Iceland is not expected to advance past the group stage, but they forced the tie with Argentina, so who knows? Good luck, Iceland. France. Just kidding. France is the worst. Australia. Australia is the home of World's Toughest Mudder legend Deanna Blegg and Australian star Lachlan Danzy. Deanna won World's Toughest Mudder in 2013, and she finished second in 2014 in the team category. She is also the inventor of Blegmets, the best glove you can get for World's Toughest Mudder. You can hear more from Deanna on Season 1, Episode 47 and 57. Lachlan Danzy is the winner of this year's, and every year's, I guess, Australia's Toughest Mudder. You can hear from Lachlan on Season 2, Episode 22, number 80 overall. For the World Cup, Australia's odds of advancing past the group stage are rough. They are in the same group as Denmark and France is expected to advance, leaving room for only one of Denmark or Australia. Here on the podcast, we like Denmark, but France is the worst. We've covered this. France is terrible. Denmark. Ulrika Evensen is one of the most exciting women to watch on the international OCR scene right now. She won 5th place at World's Toughest Mudder in 2017 and 1st place at Europe's Toughest Mudder, Midlands, this year. I will remind you about her before World's Toughest this year, but some of you will still be surprised when she does well. You can hear my interview with her in Season 2, Episode 21, number 79 overall. Denmark is a mid-range team that should make it out of their group into knockout play. The bad news is they're in the same group as Australia, and we just talked about Australia. We like Australia. The good news is Denmark and Australia are in the same group as France. I hope Denmark and Australia beat France stupid. And there's your World Cup preview. So good luck to all the countries playing this year, except for France. I hope you trip on the ball. We talked about TMX, we talked about Tougher Mudder, and we're about to talk about Toughest Mudder. When the year started, Tough Mudder made a big deal about the competitive races being broken down into fittest, fastest, and toughest. Fittest is the TMX series, fastest is the 10-mile Tougher series, and toughest is the 8-hour Toughest Mudder series and World's Toughest Mudder. Let's take a minute and see where we stand with those 3 series. Fittest. TMX is done for the year. They held 2 TMX Open events earlier this year and the TMX World Championships this past week. Like we said, that will be televised on CBS in July, starting on July 14th. TMX is in a delicate place right now. Here's what I think will happen with TMX. As long as the TV deal with CBS is in place, or a TV deal is in place, TMX will continue. If CBS goes away, if TV goes away, I don't know if TMX survives. Now, maybe they could tie something in with the Tough Mudder Boot Camp to make TMX the Boot Camp Championship or something like that. But Boot Camp is Tough Mudder's version of CrossFit. Small local gyms with teamwork-based workouts. But as it stands right now, TMX is heavily TV dependent. Fastest, Tougher Mudder. This year, there is a 5-race championship series for Tougher Mudder. The first 2 races have already happened in Philly a few weeks ago and in Whistler this past weekend. I love the Tougher series, and I wish it got more attention from Team HQ. If everything is going strong with TMX and Toughest next year, I feel like Tougher will finally get the attention it deserves from headquarters. Toughest. Outside of World's Toughest Mudder, the 8-hour Toughest Mudder races have become my favorite part of Tough Mudder. There are 7 Toughest Mudders this year. 4 of them have already taken place. We're going to talk about them in depth in a minute. The next 3 are in Boston, Germany, and Northern California. The Northern California race will take place during the day, which is not a good idea. Tough Mudder has been floating the idea for most of the year now. After each Toughest Mudder race, they send out a survey to the participants, and they've been floating the idea of holding all the Toughest Mudder races during the day next year in 2019. And that would just severely change the nature of what these races are. I really hope they don't go down that road. There's an outside chance that Toughest Mudder Boston is the last overnight Toughest Mudder in the U.S. ever. World's Toughest Mudder is still on track for November 10th in Atlanta. I cannot wait. We say it in the intro every episode, but it's true. World's Toughest Mudder is the single greatest event in OCR. If you are not up to running World's Toughest yet, if you don't think you can hang for 24 hours, you should at least come and work pit crew for somebody. It is an amazing, amazing experience. All right, so deleted scenes. What do you think? Should I have just left them in, or should I have cut out more? Leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or Amazon.com, and let me know what you think. Or shoot me an email at willhicks@gmail.com. Later this week, we'll have our Toughest Mudder East preview. Stay tuned for that. We'll see you next time. Go spend time with someone you love.